Hello everyone, it's Dominic here. It has been way too long since I have last made a video. My last video was in November and it's currently May, so that was like 6 months ago. And of course, like, a lot has happened since then. I am now well into my exchange. I've only got about 3 months left in Japan. And I guess I haven't really been uploading anywhere near as many videos as I would have liked. I think before coming to Japan I was like, this time I'm going to upload so many videos. I'm going to be uploading videos every week, showing you guys as much of my life in Japan as an exchange student, studying Japanese, being, you know, just all of that. And that has always been what I've wanted my channel to be about. I've always wanted to be able to upload videos about Oxford, about Japanese, about Japan, about, you know, life as an exchange student. And I've wanted to upload content that's useful to people and sort of relevant. I don't just want to be taking random videos of my face for no reason. I do want it to have some sort of, I guess, value, right, to the sort of content and things that I upload. And I feel like in order to upload relevant and good content, you need to have a very positive mindset. But I feel like my experiences in Japan haven't been all that great, and I think that sort of affected my ability to upload videos, because I feel like, obviously I want to be positive in my channel and in my videos. I don't want to be negative, right? Because who needs negativity in their life? But at the same time, I feel like it's important to be realistic. And I think with a lot of social media anyway, like, everything you see on social media is basically the good stuff of people's lives, you know? You get to pick and choose what you show to the world, and if you're picking and choosing, right, then you're only going to want to upload the good stuff. And I think that's how a lot of people sort of get into this mindset that certain people are having amazing lives, everything they're doing is great, and they don't really understand what's going on behind the scenes because they never get to see any of that stuff. And I don't want my channel to sort of just portray this very one-sided view of Japan and of my life, because obviously, like, Japan is a great country, but with every single country there are going to be good points, there are of course going to be bad points, and Japan is no different, and my year abroad is no different. Because I think before coming on your year abroad, you know, you hear the best year of your life, you're gonna have an amazing time, everything is gonna be perfect, and then some people come and then it's just like, well, where's all this sort of perfect stuff I was looking forward to? Like, where is it? And so today I'm just going to be talking about my experiences in Japan these last 8-9 months, and I guess the reasons why I haven't really been uploading that many videos. This is like the 12th time I've tried recording this video. It's really weird because every time the camera's off I can think of exactly what I want to say, and as soon as I start recording I'm just like, So I'm going to try do it again without rambling. That is my goal for this video. And hopefully you guys will be able to get a good insight into my life here in Japan, what's going on, and how my experiences of my exchange this time around have been. So I got to Japan in September of 2017, and as I'm sure all of you who watch my videos know, I studied in Japan as a high school student about 2 years ago. I was in Saitama, just outside of Tokyo, very close to Tokyo, very central. It was a very good, you know, I had an amazing year. I think there were certain parts of it that were difficult, you know, being the only foreign person in my school, being the only non-native Japanese speaker for, like, you know, in a whole group of, what, nearly 2,000 people. And that was hard because obviously I couldn't just go and resort to speaking English whenever I liked. I had to focus and struggle through Japanese, and this was at a time when my Japanese wasn't that great, so it was hard, but at the same time I learned a lot of Japanese. I feel like I really improved my Japanese, I met a lot of new people, made new friends, and that is what you sort of hope to be able to do on an exchange, right? And so with that experience in mind, I came to Japan this time round thinking it would be a very similar experience, if not slightly easier, because I was going to be here with all 10 people from my course at Oxford. We were all going to be in the same dorm. My Japanese level was higher. I wasn't going to have as much of a difficult time, I guess, living in Japan. And to a certain extent, that was definitely true. Like, I think some of my main issues from last time round, I didn't really have to experience this time around just because my Japanese level was a bit higher and I just didn't have to experience that, right? But I think there were certain things that I wasn't really prepared for, and I think one of the main things was feelings of isolation. As I said, I'm here with all the other people from my course at Oxford, and we are all in the same dorm, but our dorm is located right at the top of a hill on the side of a mountain, and Kobe in itself isn't a big city anyway. Like, I mean, sure, some people can say it's a big city, but I mean, having lived in Tokyo, having, you know, being from London, which is a big city in itself, coming from that to going to Kobe is significantly smaller. And obviously being a small city, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, Kobe is a really cool place, you know, you got the sea, you got the mountains, you got so beautiful scenery, and it's a city. Like, it's good, right? But I think the fact that it's not really that much of a big place, and I live quite separated from the main sort of action in Kobe, right? It makes it very difficult to go and do stuff. So, you know, for example, if I just want to leave my room and go to a konbini, the nearest konbini is 15 minutes down the hill, and this is a pretty steep hill, right? Because it's on the side of a mountain. I'm gonna keep on bringing up this mountain thing because it's that. But we live on the side of a mountain, and so if I want to go to konbini, it's a 15-minute walk downhill, 15-minute walk back uphill. So a trip to the konbini will take over half an hour. So that's sort of just a bit of context for you, and the konbini is the closest place to our dorm. If I want to get the train station is about another 5-10 minute walk from the konbini. So in total, to get to the train station is like 20 something minutes, right? So, you know, you want to go anywhere, there is a level of planning that is required. You can't just be very spontaneous in what you do. And I am someone who is relatively spontaneous. Like, I do plan to a certain degree, but a lot of what I do is kind of just random. It's just like, I'm just gonna go to this place and do that. And when I was in Tokyo before, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna get on this random train and go somewhere in Tokyo, and that's gonna be my day. Or when I'm in London, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go explore somewhere. Or in Oxford, it's like, you can walk everywhere, so everything's close, you can be spontaneous, you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna go out now, and you know, you can, because everything's so close by. In Kobe, you can't really do that. And I felt that because it was so hard to go anywhere, you end up being in this situation where you just don't want to do anything. And I know it's quite counterintuitive, right? But because it became like a chore to leave, and so you end up staying in the dorm, not really doing anything. And it's difficult to meet people as well, because in our dorm, there are very few Japanese people. Pretty much everyone is international students. But even within the international students, it's like, I don't have many opportunities to meet them because my classes at the university are only with the other Oxford people. And Japanese people obviously aren't going to be taking Japanese language classes. And I do take some like normal classes at the university. But then again, you know, that's a lecture, people don't talk in lectures. So you have very few opportunities to actually meet people and make friends, both international people and Japanese people. And so I felt like I was just living in this Oxford bubble, which is very cushy, it's very comfortable, but it was very isolating because I couldn't really go and meet people, you know, go out and make friends and do things. And that was sort of one of the issues that I had here. Another issue I had was with the class itself. Now, education in Japan is very sort of, teacher stands in front of the classroom and talks at the student style of teaching. And coming from the UK, where that's not really how education works, really. Especially when you get to like the university level. I mean, at Oxford, like, we had a lot of our Japanese lessons at Oxford, you know, it was 5 of us in a class, the teacher would ask questions. It was very like interactive learning. You're constantly speaking, you're constantly improving, because, you know, you can't just sit in silence for an hour. Like, you will get called upon. You just can't, just not speak, right? Whereas in Japan, it's very easy to sort of just hide away in the corner. The teacher doesn't necessarily ask questions. It's like the teacher will read the textbook at you, students take in information. That's how it was at high school. And that carried through to university, which was kind of a shock because I wasn't expecting university classes to be like that. And I think on top of the fact that it was very demotivating, the pace was very slow. And when I mean slow, I mean it would take us like weeks, you know, to get through one chapter. Whereas in Oxford it was like we would go through easily like a chapter a week when we only had 8-week terms, and we only had, I guess, 3 or 4 textbook classes a week. You know, we had speaking classes and we had kanji and reading and writing classes as well, right? But the actual lessons where we focused on the textbook, we only had 3 or 4 of those a week. We had 3-4 textbook hours a week, and the rest was just doing other stuff. Whereas in Kobe we do textbook every single day, and yet at Oxford we got through the stuff. We got through a whole textbook in 1 term, right? In Oxford, 8 weeks. Kobe, we got through 1 textbook in 1 term, which was from October to March. And that's every single day, 3 hours a day. So as you can imagine, the pace was really, really slow. And when you have a slow pace, boring class, not very interactive, it's demotivating, right? And I felt like learning Japanese had become a chore. It had become something that I actually really was starting to dislike. I started hating the idea of having to study kanji or having to do reading practice, and you know, this is compared to a few years ago where I was studying Japanese actively on my own. It had got to this point where I wasn't really studying Japanese on my own because I felt like, you know, I'm studying Japanese in class 3 hours a day, and then as soon as that's over, I'm like, I need to just stay as far away from Japanese as possible, because in my mind there had just been this really negative image that had built up. And so it got to the point where, for me, Japanese was no longer something I enjoyed doing. So it was a combination of the poor classes and the fact that the dorm was quite separated and that you feel very isolated that made me start to not really enjoy my experiences in Kobe. It would literally be like, I go to class in the morning, I come back to my room, that's my day. I would just sit on my computer and procrastinate for a couple hours and go to bed. Like, that's literally all I was doing. But then I kind of realised the only way I'm going to have an interesting time is if I actually go out and enjoy myself. And that's what I started doing. And it sounds really stupid to say that, but I guess your year abroad really is what you make of it. And I've been very lucky. Like, I've travelled a lot this year. I started doing baito, part-time work in Japan. I am teaching English, of course, as you do. Before I came to Japan, I was like, I'm not going to teach English because there's this sort of image that every foreigner who comes to Japan, the only job they're able to do is teach English. And I was like, I am not about that life. Arrives in Japan, sees that the wages for English teachers is literally almost like over double of everything else, right? So I thought, looks like I'll be teaching English. And so that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm teaching English like privately to students and also in an English school. And so I've got those two sort of jobs at the side that I'm doing, and because of that, all that money is going towards like my travels. So if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, this is just like a shameless plug of my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram because I'm like relatively active on there as well. My link is in the description. But yeah, as I was saying, if some of you have seen from Instagram, I have been traveling quite a lot recently. My last video was Okinawa, which was in November. Then in December, I went to Hokkaido. January, I was in Tokyo. February, I was in Malaysia and Thailand. March, I went back to England for a few weeks and I came back, and then I went to South Korea. That was March. April, I went to Hawaii. May, I sort of went on a little road trip with my friends around Mount Fuji, then to Nagano, then to Kanazawa, then Lake Biwa, then back to Kobe. In 2 weeks' time, I'm going to Tokyo. Then in July, I am going to, where am I going in July? I'm going to Fukuoka and Kagoshima in July. And then in August, I am going to Taiwan and Hong Kong before going home. So I'm doing like a lot of traveling this year. So for anyone like wondering how I'm able to travel, it's literally just, you know, teaching English, living my best life as an English teacher. And that is great. And I'm having a really good time being able to travel and explore loads of places that I wouldn't have been able to explore otherwise. And I've also started, you know, going out around in Kobe a lot more, exploring different places in Kobe, meeting different people, making friends here, and I feel like my year abroad, it's starting to look up. I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. I'm traveling loads. That's probably why, if you've noticed, I have a really weird timeline right here. That's because I was in Hawaii until like 2 weeks ago. So I'm jet setting off the world. I'm living a great life, enjoying myself now. And so, because I am feeling optimistic again, I'm back making this video. So, this is me showing my face for the first time in like 6 months. I am still alive. I am still in Japan doing stuff. I will be trying to make a lot more videos now of everything that I'm doing before I go home. I still haven't done a room tour. That's probably what I'm going to do next, because room tour, need to do that, right? My room is an absolute mess at the moment, so I've actually sort of rotated the camera to film it from this side because the bed is a mess, the table's a mess, you can't see behind me, so this is good. But I'll do a room tour, dorm tour. I'm gonna also be doing like class sort of thing. I said class was really boring. Luckily, class this term has improved. We're doing hard work, which is good. I'm preparing for N1. I'm taking that in, when am I taking that? July the 1st. I am absolutely bricking it for that because I don't know all the kanji, and high key, there's a chance I might fail, but I'm just sort of taking it for the experience, and if I do fail, like, it's not the end of the world. I'll just take it again in like December, right? So let's chill. But yes, I am living my life in Japan. The weather at the moment is really good as well. It's absolutely boiling. Like, I say boiling, it's like 20 something degrees, but in England, like, at the moment, it's what, like 10 degrees? So I'm not exactly used to this heat, but I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying myself in Japan now. Everything is sort of turning around, looking up, and I am enjoying it, which is really good. But But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs up anyway. Thank you very much for following my journey till now. That sounds really deep. It's really not that deep. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.